Pension Plan Map Plan Amendment, Butte property.
I can do this in less than 3 minutes. Oh, I have revisions here. Just minor edits that identify what's not.
It's different than what I passed out tonight.
So did you grab that?
That stack that was sitting in there.
Okay, you've already got it. Great, thank you. It disappeared, I wasn't sure where it went. Being recycling. So the resolution itself is rather brief, finally, after all these iterations, public hearing at the planning commission level, and then a public review by council, public hearing at council. Council approved amending the comprehensive plan map amendment, which is changing 2 properties on Butte Avenue from office park to light industrial with a manufacturing industrial overlay. And the map corrections were made by the firm of HBL and submitted to Washington State. Washington State wants a 60-day review of any comprehensive plan amendments and development regulation amendments. Received no comments. Therefore, the City Council must now adopt the revised comprehensive plan map to complete the comprehensive plan map amendment process. So this is the final stage in passing this resolution, except the map that is attached in your packet. It's the current comprehensive plan map.
Questions from council?
I move to approve resolution number 2013-065. Second.
Councilman Forte?
Final step, we've been working on it for quite a while now, so let's get this off our plate and get the comprehensive plan approved.
Councilman Jones?
Reiterate what he just said, but besides the fact that we've got businesses looking forward to modifications to the plan so that they can take advantage of that environment, and we need to assist the businesses as we can. Let's move forward.
Any other comments from the council? Any comments from the audience? Okay, roll call of council.
Councilmember Kennedy? Aye. Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember Putnam is absent. Councilmember Mann?
Aye.
Councilmember Holty?
Aye.
Councilmember Steiger?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Paula. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 2013-066, authorizing the surplus of 2 2005 Ford Crown Victorias, numbers 50 and 53, from the city administration to the city of Pacific Police Department. Lieutenant.
Okay, you all have a copy of the resolution before you, and basically, what it says is approximately a little bit more than a year ago, the mayor at that time requested from our surplus fleet, he requested 2 cars to be turned over to him to be used by city personnel, and those vehicles were purchased with money from the criminal justice fund. And as you probably know, the 2 cars that were requested have been sitting in a parking lot next door, and they've been unused for about a year. And what the police department is requesting by resolution is that those 2 cars be turned back over to the police department so that we can dispose of them through process. Speaking with the chief, he says that he wanted, if the cars were approved to be turned over to the police department, he wants to sell them on a negotiated basis. We've had some interest expressed about the two cars, and after those cars are turned over to us, if it's approved, then of course there'll be additional resolutions as to what we will be doing with those cars and how they will be surplus.
Questions from council?
Move to approve resolution 2013-66.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Holsey.
Vehicles were initially paid for out of criminal justice fund and would be appropriate to surplus the vehicle tax to the police department, so that in the event that they, or when they are finally sold, that fund can go back into the police department budget.
Councilman Steiger.
The only thing I know is that when they were transferred to basically City Hall staff cars, there was no transfer of funding back to the criminal justice, so this will correct that when they're sold.
Any other comments from council? Comments from the audience? Okay, roll call of council.
Councilmember Beverly? Aye. Councilmember Jones?
Aye.
Councilmember McMahon?
Aye.
Councilmember Holsey?
Aye.
Councilmember Steiger?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is the confirmation of the mayor's appointment as city clerk / personnel manager. And that would be Amy Stevenson-Ness. And if you would like to come up and I would like to introduce council to Amy, let her tell you a little bit about herself. We've all received her resume. If you have any questions over it, I'll let her go ahead and open up, tell a little bit about herself.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm pleased to be with you this evening. I'm also extremely nervous, so it's the largest interview panel I've ever had. I have 6 years of experience in Milton. I started in the planning department as the admin assistant to the planning director, and in 2009 I became the deputy city clerk because there was a finance director who was doing all of her finance things. The bulk of the clerk duties fell to me, so I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Okay. Prior to coming on board Milton, I was an office assistant in the Tacoma City Clerk's office and worked closely with the clerk to produce the agendas, lots and lots of minutes. So I have the experience required to move forward with this position, and I made notes because I'm confident that my experience working in the clerk's office in Tacoma, as well as my experience as the deputy city clerk for Milton, will be a good fit for the city of Pacific. And I am more than ready to come on board, and I'm quite eager to join the team.
Questions of council?
You have an allergy to peanuts.
Always.
I do not. Councilman Jones.
I noticed on your resume, well, first off, hello, we already introduced ourselves earlier, but you had shown nothing for about the last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you could explain the situation that you've left Milton in 2012 and
Right.
what you've been doing this last year.
This last year, I have been staying home raising my daughters. I left Milton under a difficult political climate. I worked very successfully in Milton for over 5 years, and I was very happy there, and I was actually looking to retire. I have a long time before I retire, but I was truly looking to retire there because I was happy what I was doing, but the climate changed, and I was there as long as possible, and it was just time to go.
Okay. Well, not that we're not aware of it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
To show the gap, and I can understand what changed for you. Thank you.
Other questions from council? Councilman McMahon.
So I don't see, and maybe it's there and I'm just missing it, do you have any certifications as in the municipal clerk position?
I do not have certification as of yet. I'm willing to obtain the certification, and that was, clear when I applied for the position that would be a requirement.
Okay. And then, follow up, can you talk about your experience on the personnel side? It certainly looks like your experience in Milton, and again, maybe it's there and I'm just getting past it. Your experience in Milton certainly gave you the city clerk kind of half of the job. Can you talk about your experience on the personnel side, particularly with collective bargaining units and union type of issues?
And that would be where my gap is. I handled the personnel records, but the city administrator did the bulk of the personnel work. So that's something that I would need training to get up to speed, and I understand we'll be working with the city of Auburn to do that.
Sure. Any other questions from council? You guys are easy tonight, man. I'm prepared.
We'll get you an executive session.
I know. Okay. Well, if there's no further questions, I'll let you go ahead and have it, and we'll move on with the agenda. Thank you so much, Amy. Hope you hang out.
You did great. Okay, Amy, we don't.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a possible dedication of the flag. Councilman Holsey.
I picked up my mail today, so there was a letter in there from Councilmember Garberding with regards to a plaque being placed up and dedicated to the flagpole on November 11th. She said 2014.
13.
Is that supposed to be this year?
Sorry.
You said-
I know. 13.
Okay, 13 makes more sense, because we've got plenty of time for 2014. Anyway, I think that would be appropriate. The wording on the flag would be, the American flag does not fly because the wind moves past it. The American flag flies from the last breath of each military member who has died protecting it. And that would honor men and women who have given their lives defending that flag and our way of life.
Cool.
And I think it would be appropriate to, if we can get the plaque made in time, if there are no donations, that we dedicate on November 11th.
That's Veterans Day.
Does anybody know what day of the week that is on? Monday, okay, so it's not going to be conflicted with the Auburn Parade.
No, that is on the Saturday prior.
And I'm assuming that would be $1,100 on Monday.
Absolutely. And I need enough notice I'd like to invite a bugler from Fort Lewis. And then I would also like to give enough time to invite representatives from the American Legion Post, the VFW, and both the local Boy Scout troops. And I did get one business here in Pacific that said that she would donate money towards the plaque. And I still have 4 people that had originally pledged money for the flagpole from last year. So I think we can get a majority of it through donations.
Excellent. Councilmember Smith.
I failed to check my mailbox today. What's the anticipated cost?
That one.
Do we know ballpark? Is it?
Probably around, for the plaque itself, for the wording that, City Clerk is one of the which is, probably going to be between $300 and $400 for the plaque.
I'd be willing to donate my, donate dollars, I'd be willing to donate the council dollars, to help guys work.
That would be very good.
And just so you know, Jim Schunke and I had a conversation, it was his Boy Scout troop, and we had the conversation, and you may have had the conversation with him as well. He said they wanted to finish it off, it wasn't quite finished, and before that happened, and so I think this would be good timing and should allow ample timing to get everything finished off and make it presentable. And I personally am totally on board with that, and would like to see that scheduled as an event.
Can I make a request to Mr. Schunke?
Why, certainly.
Could you put that in your community event? November 11th at 11 a.m. sharp?
Got it written down.
Thank you, sir.
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
13.
Excellent.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if you're feeling it appropriate, I have access to the 2nd Battalion of the 75th Ranger,
I would appreciate
and
it.
they would more than willingly, they are able to train to provide a tour drive.
That would be
Thank you,
awesome.
Chris.
Thank you.
Take
It'll be
care
an
of that.
active visit later.
Absolutely.
Great. It's great when a community comes together to make things happen. Okay. Any further discussion regarding that? Any discussion from the audience regarding the possible dedication? I think it's no longer possible that we're moving forward with that. All right.
Do we need a motion to that effect?
Let's go ahead and make a motion to that effect.
I move to dedicate the monument on November 11th at
Black
11
Hole.
o'clock.
Of 2013. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent, motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda.
Second, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me, so I'll second that.
And the financials on the scanned version in our packet didn't show signatures from the finance committee members, has that been done?
That happens tomorrow night,
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay, correct.
Always the day after.
Sure. All right.
I have one question though. Ogden Murphy, they have another building in there for 13,000, so that puts it right at 31,000 so far.
Correct.
Is there, how far along are they?
There's a phone conversation taking place tomorrow,
Okay,
so I need to be fully updated.
Okay.
It's happening tomorrow.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilman Jones, did you have any other comments from council? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next, we will go ahead and convene to executive session with the 3 items that were discussed earlier regarding the city clerk, grievance, and discussion of informing council of grievance solutions, and the 3rd item, potential litigation. So, and I imagine we're going to probably be in session for 30 minutes, maybe less. What do you think, 20 minutes? Start with 20 minutes? We'll start with 20 minutes. We do anticipate action following. Okay. So we are now in session for 20 minutes.
motion to go to executive session.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive. Motion carries.